Hello and welcome to the Tea Party Hardy channel and a review of The Muppets Now, Season 1, Episode 4, Sleep Mode. Boy, talk about honesty in advertising. So we really hope you like this video as we do the review. There will be spoilers because this is our third time we've done it due to technical issues and the neighbors making way too much noise, etc. Okay, so it starts out with this little segment and they actually show you what's going to be on the show. So it turns out the first sketch will be Up Close and Personal, which is typically done by Kermie, but Miss Piggy's going to fill in. No need for her to worry about being funny. Okie dokie, the most despised segment on the show as far as I'm concerned. It's unfunny. It shows you how to cook stuff without giving you the actual recipe. I don't get it. There's the field test. 2 weeks ago, I praised this segment all over the place for presenting real science and being kind of sort of funny because I actually laughed. And then last week I tore it to shreds for being absolutely despicable. This week they actually show you some real science and I will show you that. So that was kind of fun. Sadly it wasn't funny though. And then they went to the lifestyle of Miss Piggy. So what we've learned by episode 4 is they're not going to do comedy. They're not going to do dancing. They're not going to do music. Let's see, what else have we come to expect from classic Muppets all the way up until this series. They even did music on the last one. Let's see, and I don't mean last episode, I mean the last series that Disney had where they were owning them. Then, yeah, none of that stuff is in here. No pigs in space. Oh, here is the one thing they do. So this week doesn't have the game show. That's not on here this week, so that comes and goes apparently, and hopefully stays gone. I mean, all of these segments just... This one, okay, out of the 3 times they've done it, 2 of the 3 times actually do science, so that's a big thumb up for that. But they're just... God, none of this stuff is funny. And it's, you know, I'm going to keep harking back to what Jim Henson and Frank Oz said. And Henson is Kermit, and Frank Oz, it was Miss Piggy. They know these characters, they built these characters, they created the team. And then there was the guy who did the music. I mean, it wasn't just those 2, but those were the 2 big ones because Frank got into the directing thing. But anyway, you've got to have music. You've got to have comedy that's actually funny. Alright, so let's take a look at the show. So let's take a look at Up Close and Personal. So what we see here is this actress makes note of how her face is always looking sad and depressed, and that she uses that ability, I guess, is what you call it, and that's, so she's aware of it and she gets work. At first I would have put real money on the fact that this sketch was improv because it was just that slow, that bad, that awkward. But then you got Miss Piggy doing some walking around way back here, and I'm like, okay, you're not going to be able to do that as a Muppet if it's improv. So no, I don't know, maybe they did a blend, but God, it was terrible. So boring, so slow, so not funny. I'm going to keep saying that because the comedy should be funny, and this show doesn't seem to think so. So let's see, let's go into, see where that takes. Oh, now we go to this. Okay, cool. So now in this segment, again, they bring on another talking computer, not funny, and you know, okay, force of gravity equals gravity with momentum squared. If that's wrong, let me know. Squared. That's my, I don't know what this is like. Remember that being the formula for sound, and that's the old symbol for the atom. They don't use that anymore, and, you know, except for just styling. But here's the sound waves. So they actually do walk you through the actual silence. They actually do walk you through the science of sound. And see, this is Animal showing you the sound waves, and he's got on the headsets. So it's kind of cool and kind of fun. And then they do a couple of experiments that are... Oh, the eardrum. Yeah, I didn't catch that part because it went so fast. Anyway, they do... Aw, Mr. Honeydew. Okay, so now... This experiment is really cool. If you teach science or you want to teach science, this experiment is really awesome. But, whoops, come on. You really need the actual equipment to make it work. So there's the speaker. Then you got this fancy plate. You don't always have to have that one. I think that's just to catch salt. Don't know. But you definitely need this one. And you can fake it, but it doesn't come out as good. And then here's your frequency modulator. And then you pour the salt on top of this. And you can see this is connected to the drum to catch the sound vibrations. Let's see if I can catch it showing what the salt does, the different patterns. Yeah, it's really No, not there. Yeah, you can see it actually forms in the center. It's really, really cool. But it's a big pain to pull off, but it is cool, and you have to do it loud. So you might want to have the kids wear ear protection. The other experiment they do is with non-Newtonian fluid. And non-Newtonian fluid means it doesn't follow the rules of Newton. So there's two different types of non-Newtonian fluid. I know this is a review, but I'm doing science because they did science. And the weird thing about this experiment is they didn't cover the speaker. It's the first time I've ever seen this experiment done where they don't cover the speaker, because it's going to ruin your speaker, because this is it's cornstarch and water for Americans. If you're not American, it's corn flour and water. But in America, corn flour means something very, very different than it does outside of America. I learned the hard way because I was trying to do a non-Newtonian fluid, and in America I bought corn flour, and corn flour, our neighbors to the south call it matzah, and I don't know what the rest of the world calls it, but it's what you use to make tamales, and it's not what you use to make non-Newtonian fluids. So you got two different types of non-Newtonian fluids, and this particular one, it's a liquid when it's not being agitated, and again, it's water and cornstarch. But if you agitate it and you get the molecules moving, it starts to take solid form and turns into these monsters when you start cranking up the frequency. It's really, really cool and really fun. It is the cheapest experiment you can do that everybody just loves, but do not put it down your drain, because it's a non-Newtonian fluid. When it vibrates, it becomes a solid, so if you try and plunge it, it fights back. We would love to be able to use it for bulletproof vest because it's that effective, but the problem is gravity, and so it all, the cornstarch sinks, and so unless they shoot you around the belly, it's not going to work. But there's another type of non-Newtonian fluid that instead of when you agitate it, instead of it getting harder and fighting back like this does, there's the reverse, where if you stir it, it actually gets softer. And that would be mayonnaise and ketchup. If you have a big jar of mayonnaise and you start whipping it really, really fast, it will turn to a liquid. As soon as you stop stirring it, it turns back into the jello-ish form that is mayonnaise. And so that's just really cool, cheap science experiments. That is fun to do for that. You can tell what I do when it's not a pandemic on the weekdays. Okay. Oh god, the evil okie dokie sketch. And I say that because it's so... Why did they show you how to cook something but not give you the actual ingredients and the actual measurements if they're going to spend all the time? And why don't they add jokes? They don't. They think they are, but they're not. It's not funny. And then the last sketch, let's see, is the pigsty. Everything's better with sprinkles. I do have to agree with Miss Piggy on that. And where's it at? Oh, yeah, they do this thing with they go to all four. Poor Pepe. He used to be so funny. Now he's not. This guy used to be so funny. He's making a comeback. He's starting to get funny, or I'm just getting worn down. And oh, that's a cute picture. I think I'll leave it there. So, yeah. So I've compared it to the originals and all the other Muppet versions, and I don't know why they're breaking the formula so bad this time. Where they really, really messed up last time is they had Miss Piggy broken up from Kermie. Miss Piggy is with Kermie in this one in one episode, and that's all they've addressed it, but they made a big deal about them being broken up on the last one, and it was like, guys, just don't do that. There's a formula here that you can play with, but you don't take it and just break it and throw it out the window. Ooh. But again, we're talking Disney with the Muppets, just like Disney with Star Wars. The only thing Disney was able to handle was the Marvel, and that actually worked out really, really well. But that's 1 out of 3. It's a show in desperate need of comedy. It's a show in desperate need of music. It's a show in desperate need of dancing. I don't even like dancing, but darn it, they're Muppets. Let them dance. And if I didn't mention it already, because again, this is the third or fourth time I've done it, they do bring back each week characters from the olden days, and this time around it was the band. Last week it was Stadler and Waldorf and Gonzo. So yes, this week it is the band. And that's it for that. Hopefully this time it works. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the future. And can't wait till this series wraps up or gets good. But hey, we're 4 in. I don't think it's going to get good. See you in the future.